ages, that's for sure. All right, so a lot to dive into here with the Cowboys. So let's start with this. Let me give you some of their ranks. Their numbers are good. They're third in offense. They're right behind the Eagles. They're seventh in rushing, 17th in passing. They're seventh in points allowed. They are 25th. They're 25th against the run, which is one of their Achilles. But they're second against the pass, which is only second to the Eagles. Dak Prescott and Pollard, we know what they've been able to do. That's for sure. And Ezekiel Elliott, but Dak will turn it over. 9 interceptions since week 10. He's got 2,100 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, completing his passes at 68% and a 93.8 passer rating. Pollard is certainly a handful. 969 yards. That's 5.5 yards per carry. He would be easily over 1,000 if they don't split the running handoffs as much with Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott's got 774 yards. I mean, this is a good ground attack, and he scored 10 touchdowns. This is not any kind of walkover here, man. This is and they've taken away more they have more takeaways than the Eagles do this year.
Absolutely. So, you're right.
It's a good team.
You're right, Rob. And Pollard is not just a good guy running the ball. He's also a great guy catching it and making things happen. He started his career out being that third down back. So he still has that skill set to catch the ball out of the backfield on wheel routes, angle routes, Texas routes in the middle of the field, screen routes. He can make it happen, man. So I see it as a game where they're going to try to take advantage of the Eagles and their aggressive nature. So we're going to really, really have to look and focus on stopping them from running those type of angle routes and routes in which they get in behind the defensive line, like, draw plays and screens, taking advantage of their aggressive nature, getting up the field, and they find a little hole here and there to dump it down to Pollard. And he's definitely a tough get because he's fast too. He's big and he's fast. He's a lot faster than what people give him credit for. So same thing can make you laugh, make you cry. Just because you can rush the passer at a great level, you can use the screen game and the draw game against them. Hence, that's exactly what the Eagles need to do against their defensive line. Use the screen game and draw game against them. Use that speed that they have getting up the field and running behind them.
Yeah, that's a good game plan, man. And you know what? They didn't, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't feel like they're a big screen pass team with Jalen. Do you think that'll be a little bit different here with Gardner on Saturday?
I think so. Because you rush Jalen Hurts different than you're going to rush Gardner Minshew.
Right.
You got to stay lane disciplined when you're rushing a guy like Jalen Hurts, because he can take a little hole and take it for 20 yards. So they must rush him a lot. Must rush meaning they get to his level and they try to converge on him. And it takes a little more time to rush a guy like that. Now with Gardner Minshew back there, they're just going to rush up the field. Rush lanes. They're just trying to go hunt. They're just trying to get him. So they won't rush him the same way. Hence, that's why the draw game would be more effective. The screen game would be more effective against Dallas, because they're not going to rush Dallas the same, Garner the same way they rush Jalen. I mean, it's two totally different.
You don't need a draw game. Hand the ball off to Miles. Hand it off to Gainwell. Hand it off to Scott.
Exactly.
Between your tackles. Run them between your tackles. Stop me if you can. If they're averaging 4.5, 5 yards a carry like they normally do, guess what? You got a lot of tired Dallas defenders for most of that game on Saturday. I wouldn't worry about – first of all, I don't like the Eagles screen game a little bit. Okay,
especially not the tunnel screens.
No, heck
not
no.
the tunnel screen. I'm talking about we call them slow screens.
Yeah, I don't want to see the hitch pass to Quez Watkins.
No, please. That can just go goodbye for I don't care who's out there. If it's Jalen or Mitch, hey, bye.
I'm going tackle right, tackle left, gap right, gap left. Stop us if you can.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I do want to use slow screens. Now, slow screens are different from those tunnel screens. That's trying to get it out there. You get up the field. Slow screens are when you allow the defensive line to get up the field, and then you throw in behind them. Those are the screens you see the running backs. The screens you see the Dallas Goedert too, when he acts like he's blocking and then turns around.
Yeah.
And those are slow screens. I think they'll be more effective against this Dallas team than throwing those screens to the outside, because as a defensive line and linebackers, they're fast to the ball. So you get them going in one direction, you throw it to them, they're going to get to that speed screen. But against a slow screen, it's you know, he's got to back up, and then throw over their heads and get it to the running back. But things will open up so much though, because once they catch it, they're going down the field. All they got to do is make a move against the safety. So slow screens should be effective. Draw plays should be effective against this defense. You'll see a whole different rushing attack against their defense than you saw with Jalen Hurts. They're going all out. They're going to try to run games, slants. They're going to blitz because they think Gardner Minshew doesn't know the offense well enough to run it against them. So you'll get a much more aggressive game call against the Eagles with Gardner Minshew than you would with Jalen Hurts. Much more aggressive. They're going to be seeing the house at Gardner Minshew.
All right, I asked Jaws this. I'll ask you this, Barrett. Would you attack Parsons the same way you did in the last game, or do you need to switch things up a little bit? How do you need to go about him so he doesn't get off or get going?
You got to hit him in the mouth. You got to run right at him.
Yep.
You got to run right at him. Frustrate him by just hitting him in the mouth. He's a pass rusher. He wants to rush the pass. He didn't want any of that static with the run game. He just wants to get up the field, rush the passer. When you make him go against the run, he can do it, but will he do it consistently without, getting frustrated?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Use his speed against him. Just like we said, run those slow screens. Run the slow screens to him. Have a back come chip him as he's going out, chip him, and then turn around and throw the ball right to him. That way he has the backtrack to go back and make a play. They'll get so frustrated of doing that, throughout the game that, it's going to wear on him. It's going to wear on him. He only had 2 tackles last week. He's in it for a big game. He wants to show everybody that, look, I told you this and I told you so, and I'm about to go out there and dominate you because I told you so. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder, a large chip on his shoulder, the size of Rock of Gibraltar. He's going to be pissed. And that's what I want. I want his best game against our big guy's best game. Just hit him in the mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit him in the mouth.
Gunnar, how do you see this thing shaking out, man? Now that you know it's Minshew, like, what's your sense of this game? Barrett's very confident. Where do you fall on this?
Basically, like I said off the top of the jaws, I think the best way to get him in a rhythm is start with a running game, consistent running game. It cannot be like the game you played in Chicago, where you started out passing the ball and your lead running back didn't touch the ball until it was under 6.5 minutes left in the first half, because I think that you're playing right into Dallas's hand when you start doing that. You don't want to let them get revved up. You're already jacked up because they're playing at home. The rematch with the Eagles, they could get rid of that bitter taste in their mouths from last week. So if you hit Dallas in the mouth right away, and all of a sudden you look up in the first half and the Eagles have controlled the ball for 20 minutes plus compared to Dallas getting the ball, I think that's the best way to go initially. Then once you find out what works best against Dallas, you open it up a little bit more in the second half and you attack them in that regard to keep them on their heels even more so, the short passing game. They have nobody that can stop A.J. Brown on the slant route, Devontae Smith on the slant route. They don't have anybody other than Micah Parsons, and they're not going to be dropping him back in coverage a lot. Right. They can hang with Dallas Goedert. Get it to Dallas Goedert out in the flats. You got so many different ways you can attack them once you get them on their heels, because we've seen Dallas, once they get behind, they start looking at each other and pointing fingers.
Yeah.
You want them discombobulated as soon as possible. You want them thinking about who's not doing their assignments as quick as possible. See, have them talking amongst themselves, not about what we need to do the next series, what we need to do to rectify what we just didn't do that cost us.
I'll throw one more in there. If this is a close game, I feel 100% better about the Eagles coaching staff than I do Mike McCarthy in a big spot in his crew making decisions.
Absolutely, because their coach, I mean, he's sitting there knowing he's going to get fired next year, knowing he's not going to be the man that Sean Payton is the heir apparent already. But I can almost bet that you'll see Sean Payton in the stands watching the game this weekend. I can almost guarantee it, because that's just how they roll down at Dallas. There's no loyalty, man. This guy's still your team. He's still your head coach. But yet, you're out there entertaining another coach, man. Come on, man. That's bad football there, bro. So it's just not an advantageous type of environment to be in, man. I mean, I know he's pissed. He's got to be pissed. I know I'd be pissed. You know, so I mean, I just can't see. I can't see this Dallas team wanting it as bad as the Eagle team wants it.
I also wonder what's the psyche right now of Dak. You know, he's thrown a couple picks. Lately he's been throwing a lot of picks, actually. He's got heat on him too, man. I mean, he signed that monster contract. The way that their season ended last year, he and McCarthy took the equal amount of heat. Like, I think there's a lot going on there with him.
You're absolutely right. It's a whole lot going on with him, man. Because he's just throw 11 interceptions, and it's not like it's a lot of attempts because he's only played in 8 games since he came back from being hurt. He's played in 8 games and has 10 interceptions. And when you look at the way in which he threw them, some of them are real bad, man. Like throwing behind guys. Yeah. You know, I'm not like the tip ball kind, but I mean just flat out just bad, overthrowing guys for interceptions. It's just bad. He hasn't been playing consistently enough to be, you know, characterized as one of the, you know, best quarterbacks. You know, he's not even the best quarterback in the division, let alone in the NFL. He's been playing real bad, man. He hasn't stepped up to play. So right now he's trying to talk himself into being a better player. Yeah. Talk himself into being a team that can lead, you know, this Dallas team. If he doesn't believe in it, why should the others believe in him?
I think the other thing could really be enormous in this game is if the Eagles can go out and strike early and jump up on them real quick. That place is going to be like a library, man, if that's the case, especially with the backup quarterback. With all the hype going into this game at their place, if you could get on them from the jump, I think it's going to be big, man.
Exactly. I can't wait, man.
Yeah, we talked earlier in the week about how the good thing about this game was it's a day sooner than normal. Here it is Thursday, and I'm already stoked. I'm tired of talking about this game. I want to see it go down now. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you play it on an ocean freighter. I don't care if you play it on a train. I just want to see the game go down. That's all I care about right now.
I want to fight, man. I'm telling you, I want to fight so bad, dog. I want to fight somebody, something. I just want to fight, bro. I know, man, tonight, man, I'm going to have to go down and hit the gym, man, punch a bag a couple of times, man, and get in, you know, give me a sauna or something, man. I need to do something because I am so frustrated right now. I want to fight so bad, man. You know what I'm saying? I do, man. I feel myself. I feel myself getting, you know, nippy with people, you know me, because the excitement is in the air, man. It's that time, man. It's that time, man.
Well, I think the other thing is getting Goddard back too is just not only does it get Gardner, like I know I have my safety blanket here.
Yep.
But it's just another option that you have to contend with if you're the Cowboys. I mean, the Eagles did a decent job incorporating Calcaterra and Stoll a little bit the last, few weeks, whatever. But we know what this is. Those guys don't compare to Dallas Goedert. Nope. You have Goddard and Brown and Smith to go with Sanders and some of the other things that the Eagles are able to throw at you, man. They can wreak a lot of havoc on this Cowboys defense, man. This is a lot different. So let's go over this, Gunnar, because we were talking about this before in the pre-show about what Dallas has kind of done this year. So they have 4 losses. Their losses were Week 1 Tampa, Week 6 Philadelphia. We know that was here. Green Bay, which is a wild one in Week 10, and then last week Jacksonville, and that concludes on the pick 6. They do have some really good wins too. We're being real about this. They beat Cincy. Mind you, it was before Cincinnati really got rolling later in the year, but nonetheless, they beat Cincinnati. They have swept out the Giants, who are likely to be a playoff team. They've beaten Washington. They've beaten Detroit, who's, kind of reinvigorated themselves for sure. They smacked Minnesota down 40-3
in Minnesota.
Yeah, put it on probably their best game of the year.
No question. Yep.
So there's quality wins here, man. It's not.
So do we, though. So do we.
I was going to say, in fairness, Eagles have also beaten Minnesota. They've also, beaten the Giants at the lone time that they played them. They would probably, I think, sweep them if they care in that last game. But they beat the Cowboys, who are a team with a winning record. Eagles are 5-1 against teams with winning records, and they've won by 20 points in those games. So it's not like they haven't handled their business against good teams too. So look, this is 2 good teams. This is what you want. You want this kind of thing, man.
Watch TV.
Yeah.
No matter what we talk about, and no matter what we think scenarios are going to be, we know it's going to be completely different once that game starts. There's going to be things completely different than what we talked about that we haven't even thought about happening in this game, and whether it's how they attack each other, a turnover at what point, who gets off in a running game, Tony Pollard or Miles Sanders. It's so many different scenarios that go unmentioned. Obviously, you can't foresee the future, but it's just that's why I want to see the game played out more so than anything else right now. Is because I want to see what we didn't talk about, what's going to happen in these games.
Yeah, I love that. And I always love the surprise. Like there's going to be that.
Yep.
Oh, they put that little wrinkle in there. Or, the Eagles don't do a ton of trick plays.
No, they don't.
What if we see something here? Little flea flicker, something, I don't know, just something we haven't that you don't have on tape for Dallas to be able to game plan, right?
Exactly.
Come on, man. See, you guys are getting me so geeked up again, man. Stop, man. I mean, I can just see him like a reverse pitch back.
Yes.
Flea flicker.
AJ Brown throws one, something like that, or Miles
to Devontae Smith.
And then we'll discover he was a quarterback in junior high school. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Awesome.
And here's one thing we don't talk about, but I want to know who gets involved in the first scuffle.
Oh, God.
Which two players get involved in the first scuffle?
I'm feeling Mailata.
My money's on Mailata.
Yeah.
And DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yes. That's going to be it, right? That's a clash of the Titans right there.
I'll give you another one. Watch Sue. Watch Sue in this game. That could be interesting.
He got a personal foul this last game.
Yeah, my man is always a candidate for something.
We might see him kick or bite somebody this week.
Yeah. He might go Dan Campbell, start biting kneecaps.
I love him, man. I love it, man. I love his game, bro. I mean, he's just one of those guys, man. He brings his attitude in his lunch pail every single day.
Yeah.
You're going to get max effort out of him because he wants to be a talker. He wants to give it to you. He's trying to hand it to you any way you want it. He's trying to give it to you. I love Sue's game, man. I mean, I'll fight Sue, man. That's what I'm saying, man. He's that type of guy, man. I love Sue, bro. Ever since he left Nebraska, and I hated him in Nebraska, and I hate him now. But I hate to go against him if I played him now, bro. I hate it.
Pretty funny, Jill. The Eagles are the love of my life. There you go. I love it. That's pretty funny, man. Jason Kelsey statement game. Interesting. Yeah, look, I don't think I don't know. I'm trying to think of who in the offense. I would say Mailata definitely offensive line.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you.
I'll tell you, Lane hates the Cowboys. Having grown up down there, he hates the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, remember he told
grandma.
His grandma got on him about that.
And he's like, "Grandma, you might have to hit the bricks,
he said he's gonna kick his mom.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I think he probably used a term that we maybe don't want to throw out there. We kick grandmom's rear end or something like that. I don't know. He said it lovingly.
No, what did he say? I told grandma she better shut the bleep up and go see.
Yes, yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
What? You said that to grandma?
Yeah. Our PC world, that doesn't fly, but we know what he meant, and we concur.
I love it, man. I love it, man. But
yeah.
Just, talking about a statement game. Jordan Mailata, this is the first time I see it. The first time I saw him drop him and become a good player was against DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence did something to him, and it just clicked on him. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, he became a dominant player. It clicked. He fought every single play after that play. He's been fighting ever since then. And DeMarcus Lawrence was that fire that got underneath him. Whatever he did to him, it really pissed him off. And from that point on, he has been on fire, man. So yeah, I can't wait, man. That's gonna be the game, man. To me, the game within the games. And also, I think BG's gonna get one on gonna get a sack on JP.
Yeah.
He'll get one on JP.
Oh, that'd be good.
That's going to be interesting too. The whole JP dynamic, this time around, because he's more involved than the last time. He's more of a
alternating
factor. Yeah, absolutely.
And the fact that they took the rookie and kept the rookie at the left side and moved the two veteran players to the right side, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
what is happening?
Yeah, Tyler Smith. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that works with that dynamic. All right, let's step aside. We will come back. Remember, at 2:30, D-Gun sings when we go through our favorite Christmas songs. You have to wake up the pets and get the kids ready. That's going to be a big. 2 o'clock, we will go into our NFL segment. We'll preview what is. I never thought we'd be saying the Jets and the Jags are a really critical game in week 15, 16, whatever we're in, but it is. So we'll do that. Nick Foles is back. Ryan Tannehill update. A couple other odds and ends. We'll dig into the coach of the year We'll tell you where the NFL Sunday Ticket is going to be next year. We'll get to the NFC Power Rankings 1 through 5. A lot of great stuff in the last segment. We'll talk about Jim Gardner, all-time favorite Christmas songs, all kinds of stuff.
My bad. Did I see Tyron Smith is back for this game?
Yes.
Yeah, they've been alternating. Tyron Smith and Jason Peters are on the right side, alternating back and forth.
Because I'm looking at their depth chart as of today. They have Tyler Smith at left tackle, and they moved Tyron Smith to right tackle. Okay, all right. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to be real interesting.
Yep, no doubt. All right, so we'll dig into all that stuff when we come back. Sixers win last night. Flyers playing a matinee game today in Toronto, a 2:00 start on a Thursday afternoon. A little different, right? A little different. So we'll kick that around. Also, a little Phillies updates for you, and we'll get into it's a pretty special time period right now in Philadelphia sports. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Time for me to tell you about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problems that you may face. So, do you have any type of tree issues in your yard or on your property? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, we're in that storm season. If you live anywhere near where we're at right now, it is nasty outside, right? It's a good time to get your trees evaluated before you have a bigger problem. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for a sampling of their work or more information. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.